everybody, Miss Ashliani here, and I'm going to be doing our English lesson today. In today's English lesson, we're going to be learning to use question marks. I've got 3 punctuation marks here. One of them is a question mark. Your turn. Which of these is the symbol for a question mark? Pause the video and have a think. Ready for your check? Which one did you think it was? That's right, it's this middle one here. So we've got a full stop, a question mark and an exclamation mark. Now, when is it that we use question marks? Have a little think. Ready for your check? We use a question mark at the end of a question. What's our noisy punctuation for a question mark? Can you remember? Our turn, let's practice it together. Get your hands ready. Whoop. That's our noisy punctuation for a question mark. Right then, let's get started with the lesson. Here's some of our key vocabulary for today's English lesson. We've got question marks, question starters, questions and punctuate. Going to have a look at some different question starters. Now when we start to ask a question, we might use one of the 5 W's or a H. Let's have a look at the W's. So, who is a question starter? We could start our question with the word who. We've got what, where, when, why, they were our 5 W's. And then there's this one, the H, how. So when we ask a question, we could start with any one of those question starters. Are you ready to get started? We're going to put these in a bag and start thinking of some different questions. I asked Miss Jackson if I could borrow some of the photographs she found on her camera in her loft. I thought they were so interesting and I wanted to find out more about them. Now that's what historians do. They look at different sources. So we're going to look at photographs as our sources today, and they try to find out more about the past using these sources. So I've got this photograph. Now I'm going to think of a question about this photograph. I've got our question starters and I've put them in this bag. And when I choose one of these question starters out of the bag, I'm going to think it's my turn of a question about this photograph. Oh, I'm going to give them a good shuffle. Oh, which one is it going to be? Why? So my question about the photograph is going to start with why. So I'm going to think of a question that starts with the word why about this photograph. So I'm going to think of my sentence first in my head. Right, now I'm going to say it out loud. Why are they wearing dresses? Ooh. My next step is to write it down. Here's my sentence. Can you read it with me? Our turn. Why are they wearing dresses? Ooh. Now let's check. I've done everything I need to write a super question. I've got a capital letter at the start of my sentence. I've got my finger spaces. My letters sit on the line. And I've ended my question with a question mark. Super. Very proud of myself. Here's another photograph I borrowed from Miss Jackson. Now, this time it's going to be your turn. I'm going to think of this question, but you're going to have a go at writing your question down and remembering your question mark at the end. I've got my question starters in this bag. I'm going to give them all a bit of a shuffle round, and then I'm going to choose one Oh, what does that one say? Have a go at reading it. Where? So we're going to think of a question that starts with where about this photograph. I'm going to have a think. Okay, thought of my question. I'm going to say it out loud now. Where are they? The writing bit is down to you now. It's a your turn. So remember the question. Where are they? Count the words. Where are they? Your turn. Pause the video here and have a go at writing that question. Play the video again when you're ready to do your check. Time for your check, everybody. So your question was, where are they? Where are they? Ooh, with a question mark at the end. So you should be checking that you've included your capital letter at the start of your sentence, finger spaces in between all your words, that your letters all sit on the line, the ones that need to, and that you've got your question mark ooh, at the end of your question. Here's another photograph Miss Jackson found when she got the camera roll printed, and she got all these lovely photographs that we know are from the Victorian times, and they're all to do with our topic, Victorian seasides. For the next challenge, everybody, you're going to have a look at this photograph. Have a good look at it now. You're going to pause the video on this photograph and you're going to think of your very own question. Now remember the different question starters we've been talking about today. Your question could start with a why. It could start with what. It could start with when. It could start with who. It could start with where. Or it could start with how. So, you're going to think of your very own question about this photograph. Chili 1 is to think of one question. Chili 2 is to think of 2 questions. And Chili 3 is to think of 3 questions. If you're going for Chili 2, you could try looking at 2 question starters, 2 different question starters for your 2 questions. You could have how and where, for example. If you're going for Chili 3, you could think of 3 different question starters. So you might think of a who question, a when question, and a what question. So, good luck everybody. We can't wait to hear all about your questions about the photographs. Good luck everybody.